Hi, piano friends. It's Laura Lowe, and today I want to talk about numbers that we use in music. We have so many different numbers that we use in music. We use finger numbers, we count, we have notes that get 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, 4 beats, and we have rests that get different kinds of beats, and we have numbers for intervals, and we number our measures with numbers, and we have time signatures. Did I say that already? We even use Roman numerals sometimes. We use numbers for a lot of things in music, and beginners especially can get really confused sometimes. So in order to keep you from getting confused, I want to talk about 3 kinds of numbers that we use in music: finger numbers, counting numbers, and measure numbers. These are all numbers that you might see in a piece of music that you're practicing. So let's get to it. So the first number that you probably see, I'm going to use a red mark and circle it. The first number that you probably see is this number 3 in the first measure. Here's another number 3. Here's another number 3. And here's another number 3. What are those numbers? I bet you know already. Those are finger numbers. They tell you which finger to put on the note that's there on the staff. So this is a G, and you're going to use your right hand number 3 finger to play that G. Now, I'm not real big on finger numbers. I'll probably do another video about that one of these days. But for now, I just want you to know that the finger numbers are always placed up here above the staff, or, oh, that was a bad circle, down here below the staff. They are placed on the outside of the staff. That looks really messy, but I hope you get the idea. We never have finger numbers inside the staff. So if you're trying to decide, is that number that I'm looking at a finger number? The placement of it should tell you the answer. Now, if we want to count the rhythm, we would write the counts inside the treble and the bass clef staff. See how I'm doing these here? These are counting numbers if we're counting our way through the measure. And if we were clapping that rhythm, we would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So when we do counting numbers, rhythm counting numbers, those numbers go inside the staff. Now, when I'm working with my piano students and I want to mark the score, I am very careful to always follow that rule so that I don't confuse them. Finger numbers go above or below the staff. Counting numbers go inside the staff. Here's another number. It's a number 5 in a box. What might that be all about? Well, do you remember what measures are? I hope if you're to the point of reading this piece of music, you do know what measures are. They're these sections. This is the first measure. This is the second measure. This is the third measure. This is, of course, the fourth measure. Guess what the next measure is? It is the fifth measure. So this number in the box is the measure number. Let's take that away so it's not so messy. This is our measure number. Now, we don't usually have a number over every single measure. We usually only have a measure number here and there. Most of the time, the measure number occurs at the beginning of a line. So if there were another line of music after this one, then let's see, 6, 7, 8, it would be measure 9. If the music wrapped around to another line and continued, then the next measure on the next line would be measure 9, and there would be a square there with the number 9 inside of it. So those few measure numbers help us to keep our place. So if I told my student, I want you to start in measure 3, then my student would say, okay, here's measure 5, Measure 4 must be this one. So measure 3 is this one. And then my student would know where I wanted them to start playing. If I said, okay, I want you to start in measure 6, then they would say, okay, here's measure 5. So I'll go here. This is measure 6. And they would know where to start playing. Now, there's some more numbers on your score, on your music here at the very beginning. This is your time signature. I'm going to be talking about that in another video, but I just wanted you to know that I didn't ignore it. I see that there are numbers over there as well. But now you know where we look for finger numbers on the outside of the staff, either above or below it, counting numbers on the inside of the staff, and measure numbers, usually at the beginning of a line of music, but sometimes like this one out in the middle, and they'll have a square around them. All right, I hope that's helpful for you, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, and happy practicing.